On this edition of Breaking Into, we're talking to someone who is the 19th of 21 children and a success story that you need to hear next.
You are tuned in to Black Hollywood Lives. Breaking Into.
Hello, and welcome to this edition of Breaking Into here on Black Hollywood Live. I'm your host, James Lott Jr. And I'm just so glad you guys can join me this Sunday evening. I like to bring you interesting guests, and this person is very interesting. My guest is the one of 21 children. He is the father of 4. He is the only one to graduate college. He has several degrees, and he has a new book, No Love, No Charity, The Success of the 19th Child. And I'm glad to have him on my show. And since we're going to have a good discussion. Mr. Paul Lamar Hunter. Hello, Paul.
Thank you for having me on tonight. I'm excited.
My pleasure. Okay, so I come from a big family myself, not 19 or 21. I come from a big family myself, and I just want to ask you, first of all, do you talk to all of your siblings?
I talk to all of my siblings at least about once a week. I will call them up, or sometimes they will call me up, and we'll talk about life, talk about our adult children. A lot of my siblings are grandparents at this particular time, so they'll talk about their grandkids, their kids, and how they are making that transition into being a grandparent and time with grandchildren. So and we talk about a lot of things. So I love my siblings. They are good to me, and I'm good to them.
That's amazing, because I'm a grandfather myself, and I have siblings who are becoming grandparents now, and we have kind of graduated to that next stage. I don't talk to all of mine. I'm like one of 12, so I don't talk to all of them, because all the time, or we're so spread out. But that's impressive if you talk to them on at least on a regular basis. That's impressive.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's all about keeping the relationship fresh and having fun, because we are adults now. And I stated earlier, a lot of them are grandparents and also great-grandparents. So you got to understand that my mother is the mother of 21 natural children.
Wow.
There is 17 of us today, 63 grandchildren, 63 grandchildren, 86 great-grandchildren.
Oh my God.
And I'm going to tell you something. I don't know a lot of those great-grandchildren.
Yeah. You're like, okay, let me name them all for you right now. Like that's not going to happen, obviously. That's not going to happen. I know it's amazing. I know I have some great nieces and nephews I never met before either, so sorry. There's certain ones I'm just close to that are just nearby, so it kind of happens. There's something that you said, and I was in an interview that I read, that I personally experienced this. I found out later, I have 2 grown daughters, and I found out later that I was the father that I didn't have. I didn't know it until I was grown. And you say something where you go, your kids call you dad. And that is something that's very important to you. Can you explain to people out there who don't know why it's significant to you?
Well, it's significant to me because coming from a big, huge family, we were not allowed in the Hunter family to refer to mother as mom or mother. And that was very difficult growing up in a household of 20 siblings. We did not have the best relationship with our mom because my mother came from the South. She grew up in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Mm-hmm. So she was part of that Jim Crow system. And that system was a system designed to harm people of color. And so my mother thought that the tools that she was giving was the best tools to her child, so her children. She did not allow us to call her mom or mother. We had to refer to her as a different name. And I talk about that in my No Love, No Charity, the success story of the 19th child, which is a great book. And by the way, this book has been adapted into a screenplay.
Ooh.
So Hollywood director and producers need to get in contact with me.
Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Please, folks, if I can be a conduit in any way to get you to that direction, please do. What did your mother want you to call her? What was it, just by her name? I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Normally it's the other way around. So I don't know. It's like they say you can't call me by name. You gotta call me mother or mom or like or ma or Medea or whatever. Like I don't. What name would you call her?
Well, we had to refer to her as E, the letter E, and the letter E stands for something.
Okay.
And I cannot reveal it in the interview. You have to get the book.
Okay.
You would be taken aback by what the letter E stood for.
Okay, we're ending the interview. Okay, I see you guys later. I gotta go. No, I'm totally intrigued. Of course, now you just said that. Jeez. So that's very interesting. But I think so that had a profound effect on you, though. That it made you when you had your own kids. It was important for them to refer to you because dad's a loving word. I mean, it's a word. It's a term of endearment. It's a term of respect. It's both, isn't it?
Yes. My children call me dad, call me father. But you know what? Since I have 3 adults right now they want to call me Pops. And I said, why Pops? Because you are old.
It's just funny. I'm a year older than you are. Well, and in another month I'll be 2 years older than you. So, yeah, they try to pull that stuff on us. I'm like, hello, we're not that old. Not that old. Mm-hmm. I got gray in my goatee, but that's wisdom in my goatee, I was told. So I always say that. You know.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So do you feel like you were the parent that you didn't really necessarily, the kind of parent you really wanted to your kids?
I think that growing up in a family of 20 siblings, I have to give a lot of credit to my older siblings.
Yes.
So you got to look at this. The family that I came from, it was like a basketball team. You have your starters, you have your bench, and you have your reserve players.
Your bench, I like that.
Yes. Those starters, those first 10, they were tremendous in the home. They helped out cooking. They helped out taking us a bath, doing homework with us, combing our nappy hair at nighttime, and just being there for us. So my older siblings deserve a lot of credit because my mom was so into building her empire, and that is her homeless shelter.
Yes.
It's a place where she would display love to people that was less fortunate. But when she got home, it was a different face. She would display hatred, dismay, and she wasn't a woman that would build her children up. She wanted to see her children not become successful in life. And the reason why I say this is because everything in the Hunter home was always derogatory statements, put downs. So I remember a time when I was getting ready to graduate from Gateway Technical College with my associate's degree in business administration. My mom did not show up at my graduation.
Wow.
But my sister and my niece did.
Yeah.
But I went over to my mom's homeless shelter to see why. And so my mom came down. She really didn't want to interact with me. I tried to get a picture with her. She refused.
Wow.
But she said this to me that made me want to go out and achieve success. She said to me, I'm going to give you some parenting advice. And I said, what's that? She said, a child is not supposed to be successful in life until the parents are deceased.
What?
Those words right there provoked me to go out and achieve my bachelor's degree in business administration from Upper Iowa University. Yeah. So what she thought was negative, and I do positive, because I made history. I laid the foundation in the Hunter family by becoming the first child out of to college in 12, which is an amazing victory for the Hunter family.
What's really interesting is that I had a father who I'm not close to myself. I'm named after him, and we've had a rocky upbringing. And it's interesting because you know where they come from, because we're a generation born during the civil rights movement. So they were born before that, of course, and they're coming of age during that time period. And then there were 70s and in the 80s, and it must have been interesting for them to have these certain ideas that we find strange, or find cold, or find just weird. But like for them was some real stuff going on in their brains when it came to their kids. So I mean, how is it for you to you hear that, you grew up in a certain environment, how did you kind of push yourself through without that support?
Well, I had a great support system. My siblings, people in the churches, my school teachers, people in the community, and they really stepped up to the plate. There was many times in the Hunter family where we did not have any food in the house.
Wow.
But a miracle was performed, seemed like on a daily basis, because people in the community stepped up and they would knock on the door and leave a basket of food there.
Wow.
And take off. Leave toys there, leave little notes there to say that I'm praying for the Hunter family. And so those words and those people that was giving really impacted my life and also impacted my sibling lives at all. And so the city of Racine, Wisconsin has been good to the Hunter family. And so I appreciate that.
And it's that village mentality, right? We come, our ancestors come from the village.
Yes.
You help each other out. You help the younger ones, the older ones, and I always talk that on all my shows and everything. I'm a big village person in terms of how we need more of that in America, of course. But it's just so funny that your mother went into a profession to help people and actually be a person of the village to help homeless people, yet was cold at home. And it's very
yes.
and it's you as a kid having to deal with that. I give you kudos for overcoming that and saying I'm going to be successful, whatever it is, in spite of this.
Yeah, and that's the reason why it's very important that you give other people that have similar stories a platform to tell their story, because there's a lot of young people out here today that are struggling, and they need to hear their story. Because if I can bounce back from a setback, they can also bounce back from a setback. And I deal with a lot of at-risk students because I was considered at risk to go to jail, to go to prison, to live an unproductive life. And so you look at what I have accomplished in my life, you would say it's amazing. I was profiled in Black Enterprise.
Yes, you were.
I was profiled in Ebony magazine, not once but twice. I've been in countless magazine publications and newspaper publications, and it is amazing how I'm able to disperse out my message of hope, my message of not giving up. And that's what I want to say to young people or people in general. Never give up. If you can go back a couple months ago when the Atlanta Falcons were playing the New England in the Super Bowl, everybody counted New England out. And that right there was an indication. Don't count me out. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. You can be in poverty. You can be abused mentally, physically, and spiritually, and still come out of it with grace and favor.
I always say this, and I said this the other day on some show I did, there's no substitute for hard work and faith. Both. They both work hand in hand. You always have faith. You should always have faith, but hard work doesn't help either. I mean, it helps also. The hard work, putting in the hours, making the sacrifices, doing the work. That's how you succeed, right?
Yes, and that's what I did. I was able to surround myself with great men and women, and I put in the work, my brother. And when I say I put in the work, I put in the work. I put in overtime. I just wasn't working 40 hours a week. I was working 70 hours a week.
Yeah, trust me, I work a lot. I know how that is. And because I want to, I mean, I found a field I love, so I work a lot in it, but I love it. And I know that the work, you have to continue doing the work to be successful, to kind of move through life. And I'll also say you raising children, that's also another successful thing you've done also. You have 3 adults. You have 3 people who hopefully are great members of society, right, that you worked on.
Yes. I have a daughter, she's working. Tyler community. My son, that's 18 years, Central High School. So that she 12, smart, sharp, articulate kid, and I thank God for that, because I was able to spend a lot of time with them academically, and also coach in sports. So they are some
I always tell people the hardest thing, I mean, going to school is hard, me doing TV sometimes can be hard, but to have a human being's life in your hands, that there's no substitute for that. That's really hard.
Yes.
So I think it's just so congratulations to you that these kids are doing stuff. So this book, you decided, I'm sure it was a catharsis of sorts for you, but you also wanted to get a message out. But what made you decide, what germinated in your brain to say, I'm going to sit down and write a book?
Well, I wanted to share not only my story, but the Hunter family story. How we grew up in poverty, how we grew up neglected, abused, and we overcame the situation by surrounding ourselves with just positive people and going out to getting them help. And there's a lot of men and women out here that have a lot of issues, that have been abused spiritually, mentally, and physically, but they are afraid or to get the help. And so I thank God for a lot of people that came into the Hunter family life to where they were able to assist us to get the proper help, the men and women that we get.
There's I like that, the message of I always say paying it forward, sharing. That is because sometimes we do feel like we're alone. We're busy in our bubble, and we're working and we're trying to make things happen, and sometimes frustration sets in sometimes, or just sadness or whatever, or just feel like I just can't do this. To be able to pick up a book or hear an interview with someone saying, I went through something similar, or this is my story, here you go, it really does help.
Yes, it does. And let me say this, the book, No Love, No Charity, The Success of the 19th Child, it's a great title because my mother homeless shelter was named Love and Charity.
Oh, okay.
And so I named No Love, No Charity, The Success Teen Child. So this book is a healing book. It's a book that will impact parents' life or people that are in the process of having a baby. They need to get this book. No Love, No Charity, The Success Story of the 19th Child. It's an emotional book. It's a parenting book. It's a game changer. It's a book that will make you cry, but at the end, it will make you smile.
I like that.
That's why it's very important.
I like what you're saying.
I have to emphasize it.
Yeah, I like what you're saying. It's a book basically for several demographics: for the parents, for children, adult children, maybe children now. I mean, it's a demographic for everybody. Should read it. Everybody should read it. Everybody should just read the book and gain what they can, and whatever pieces they can gain or relate to it. I think that's the best. That's the best thing, I think, with the book.
Yes. Yeah. Yes. I'm here with a big story. I want to see every men and women that read the together, and we cannot afford.
Yeah, I would say yes. I think it's completely a useful book out there for people. Completely.
The book.
Yeah. So Paul, finishing the book, you must feel really, really good about it because now it's like your new child. You're birthing it out to everybody.
Yes. It's just like you said. I'm excited because it's like having a baby for.
So.
Me a bad. It.
Yeah, I was say we're having a little bit of difficulty. Like it was coming in really clear, and all of a sudden there was a little difficulty. He's calling from another part of the country, and I'm over here. So it's just kind of about this book. But the book is called No Love, No Charity: The Success of the 19th Child. Paul Lamar Hunter. It's going to be a really good read. And I think the reason why I have him on the show is because I love sharing stories, but they have like an unusual twist. Him being 19, child of 21 kids. I don't know anybody out there can imagine being one of 21 kids. I mean, I thought my family was big enough, but it's something that I think people should literally read this book and just kind of see what kind of conclusions you get out of it, because everyone has a story and people do succeed. Sometimes we feel like we're alone, and and you really aren't alone. You're busy doing stuff, and you're busy trying to make things happen. It can be really tough out there. And it's good to hear other stories. I personally, all the work that I do, I try to share my stories with people too all the time, and that's why I bring people on the show to bring them and talk about different things. And his story is just so amazing. And sometimes you can have parents that aren't the kindest or warmest, but that shouldn't stop you from working your life and living a destiny. I mean, everyone has a chance, and everyone can. The world, especially in America, we're very fortunate. We can actually make things happen for ourselves. Education is out there, and I know it's sometimes expensive and there's things, but there's ways to do things. It may take a little longer than expected, but you can get there. And I think his story is just the best. And the fact that he has kids of his own and paid it forward and changed things. I mean, it's an amazing thing. And I wonder how other people out there who may have been around our age, he's around my age, or that time period said never mind and gave up. I mean, it's just one of those things that I hope people overcome it, but some people don't. And he's a great example of someone who overcame that and said, I'm going to persevere and be the best Paul I can be. And I think that's something that's very important. We're trying to call him and stuff. One of these days we're going to have him in studio on the show. We're going to have him come in studio when he's in town. I know he's working really hard back there. And so, Marissa, what do you think? It's a James Lott Jr. show. This is my show breaking into, of course. We're doing our best, folks. This is live television, and I love it. I like being real. But he's somebody that we connected, about a year ago, and started talking, and it's something we're able to do this now. And I agree with him with the whole older siblings thing, because I was in the middle, so I was taken care of, and I had to take care of. Say that 5 times fast. So I had to take care of people, and I had to take care of the younger ones. And I raised one of them myself, actually. And it can be when you're in it, you're just doing it. And sometimes you have resentment. Sometimes you have the other things that happen. But as I get older, and as they've thanked me for things, and my older siblings too, I've thanked them for things they've done for me. It's invaluable, and which is kind of how family life is when you have a lot of kids. And I know my stepdad. I think he's one of 15 or 16, and I had another stepdad who's one of 15. I'm like, it's a lot of children. I couldn't imagine. I thought I had enough living in a 2-bedroom house, So, what? Oh,
hello.
Hi. Okay. I was actually vamping up your book. I was talking about it. I was giving it a good push, and I was telling your story. I was like, and how glad I'm having you on the show.
Hey, thank you.
And so yeah, tell everybody this is live television, of course. And well, one day when you're in LA, you gotta come sit next to me. When you're in LA, one of these days, on the show, of course.
Hey, I would love to come out to LA to sit next to you and have a great interview. I think having me present in the studio would be great.
I like the confidence. No, yes, no. Two of us together, it'd be magic. Like, hello, it'd be magic. So we'll just share stories about coming from big families. And I was just saying while we were trying to reconnect with you that I think your book is so important because a lot of us feel like we're on our own. We feel like we're alone. We get frustrated. We get tired. We get all these different emotions. That sometimes it's good to hear someone else's story and go, oh, okay, he did do this. Despite, a cold mother or 21 kids, or like you really did this. I mean, this is. I think it's a great thing.
Yes, like I said, all the obstacles, the adversity that I had been through, I overcame. I went against the odds. And you look at my story, you will say it's amazing because this guy grew up in drama. Mm-hmm. In all the things that he had been through, he never made any excuses. Listen, the most important thing I can say that my mother is not perfect.
Right.
There's a lot of parents out there that are not perfect.
Right.
Parents will make mistakes. I don't hold any animosity, any hatred in my heart for my mom. Mm-hmm. My mom is not, I have to emphasize that, but I love my mom because she gave me life.
Yes.
The tools that was given to her, she thought it was the norm, but in reality, it was the abnorm. So she's not perfect, and parents are not perfect. They will make mistakes. But I had learned in this process, you have to forgive and you have to move forward. So if any of your listeners listening to this interview, forgive and move forward. Don't hold on to the past. Let's move forward. Life is too short. Go out and get the book, No Love, No Charity, The Success Story of the 19th Child. You can visit my website, PaulLamarHunter.com. PaulLamarHunter.com.
PaulLamarHunter.com is the website. He is on Twitter and other things, APLH19. He is on there. And so, Paul, we're going to close this out. I just want to say thank you for being on my show. The book is great. It's called No Love, No Charity, The Success of the 19th Child, Paul Lamar Hunter. You and I will talk soon off camera, off the air. But thank you, my friend, for coming on, and I will talk to you soon.
Hey, thanks. Be on, sir.
Thank you. So, guys, yes, this is a great book. I can't wait. I can't wait to read it myself. I'm probably gonna cry the whole time trying to read this book too, and find things that I can relate to in it. So, you guys, of course, you can follow us on the Breaking Into Facebook page. And I want to thank you for being patient as we were going through our technical difficulties. But again, this is a great book, great story. We'll have him in the studio one of these days when he comes to LA. You can follow us on BHL Online on Twitter. I did the T's all like that. Twitter. You can go on iTunes, go on YouTube, go to Breaking Into. It's on the Black Hollywood live page. Breaking Into's there. All my episodes are there, including this one will be there also. And you can watch any of the ones there. And they're really great. Comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's a lot of great other shows on this network. We're devoted to diversity. We're devoted to talking about issues that affect not just the Black community, but all communities. And this show, I try to do this all the time too. I have some great guests coming up in April, so you want to follow the Facebook page, and then you will see who's coming up next. Again, I'm James Lott Jr. You can follow me at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms, and I will see you next time.
From executives Kevin Undergaro, Dario Kristen, Tiana Hobson, and the entire BHL staff, we would like to thank you for supporting Black Hollywood Live, the first online broadcast network dedicated to African American entertainment. For questions and comments, contact us. info@blackhollywoodlive.com. Like us on Facebook, tweet us, or Instagram us at BHL Online. And I am the official voice of Black Hollywood Live, Scipio, Instagram us at KingXOBay. Thanks for tuning in.
The views expressed here are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of BHL or its owners or principals.